and she has been practicing mindfulness for many years now, and she continues to teach it to her as well. Next up, we have Dr. Sandeep Jyot. He's an MBBS doctor, empowerment and parenting coach, a past life regression therapist, and an MBCT practitioner. He has more than 20 years of experience in the spiritual journey, and he's also the master trainer for sound healing and therapy. Next up, we have Dr. Nimrat Singh. She's the founder of Tangram, Tracking the Human Mind. She co-founded the first counseling center of Ahmedabad. She's a certified international psychotherapist, author, and emotional wellness coach. She has been practicing affirmations and mirror work since 2016 and has completed the Louise Hay workshops. She has over 25 years of experience as a psychologist. Starting with the webinar, I would like to invite Mrs. Yesha Vyas to enlighten us about what is mindfulness all about and where does it emerge from.
Hello, everyone. I extend a very warm welcome to all of you for today's session. Thank you, Mahika, for your question. So mindfulness is a term that most of us have heard in our day-to-day conversations with others or while we read a lot of stuff online. However, mindfulness has been a practice for over 1,000, 2,000 years, and it has specially emerged from the Eastern culture, Eastern part of the world. And it was a very, and it still is a very sacred practice in the Buddhist philosophy and Buddhist traditions. To so as to say that mindfulness is the center, it's like the heart of the Buddhist practices, the Buddhist philosophy. However, in the recent decades, John Kabat-Zinn in 1979, he was a biologist. He is a biologist, and he introduced the practice of mindfulness formally to relieve pain for his patients. So mindfulness as a practice, it came into force for relieving patients, for managing pain in patients. Right? Mindfulness, as the word suggests, mindfulness means being more mindful, being here in the now, being more present to whatever your thoughts, your emotions, your bodily sensations are. And we do all of that without judgment. Usually when we have a lot of thoughts, when we have when we are feeling something, there is always another thought associated to it which says, I must be feeling this, or I must not be feeling this. I must be thinking like this, and I must not be thinking like this. I should be doing this, I should not be doing this. Right? So when we say mindful, it is like observing, being present to your thoughts, your emotions, and your even actions at times with full attention, however, not being judgmental at the same time. Mindfulness also means observing something with an intent to be more conscious, right? So, to sum it up, mindfulness is a practice that centers us to the here and now, to our present being, to whatever we are doing.
Right. I'm so surprised to hear about the rich roots of eastern part of the world that emerges from mindfulness. Moving on, I'd like to ask Dr. Sandeep Jyot, what is sound healing all about and what makes it an effective healing technique? You're on mute, sir.
Thank you, Maika, for asking such a wonderful question. Though Yasha has explained a lot about mindfulness, being present right here, right now, without any judgment. So, sound healing, I will start from where the Yasha stopped. That it's also an instrument, it's also a way, it's also a healing technique to experience the mindfulness, to experience the present moment. So, sound healing also started in the eastern part of the world. And what is sound healing? Sound means that whole universe has been created by the sound. We know the Big Bang. And sound healing is an ancient way for the treatment of psychological, physical, and spiritual healing with the help of singing and healing balls and gongs and other instruments. We have seen in big monasteries, if someone visits, there are big gongs are there. Gongs are there, big plates are there. Monks play them. It causes the healing. I want to show the singing bowl also here to everyone. This is known as handmade singing and healing bowl. It creates some kind of vibrations and sound, right? We're talking about the instrument. After that we can talk about the sound we produce by our vocal cords also. So Ayurveda says that there are 5 koshas matlab layers of the body. We'll talk about the 2 layers of the body. One layer is the Annamaya kosha, our physical body, and other is Pranamaya kosha, we can call it energy body. Whatever happens in our life, be in psychological level or physical level, and disease comes, that first comes at the energy level, right? I am a doctor. I've done my graduation in medical profession, then done the post graduation. We can diagnose any disease with the help of the lab test when it's manifested. Like someone has a cancer and someone has certain symptoms, certain kind of markers, then only we say that इसको कैंसर हो गया. बट कैंसर होने के लिए बहुत समय लगता है, आदमी को 5 से 10 साल लगते हैं. तो वो हमारी एनर्जी बॉडी में जो चेंजेस आते हैं बिकॉज ऑफ अवर माइंड, बिकॉज ऑफ फूड, बिकॉज ऑफ अवर थॉट्स, बिकॉज ऑफ अदर एनवायरमेंटल टॉक्सिन्स, वो जो चीजें होती हैं वो होनी शुरू हो जाती हैं, प्रॉब्लम आनी शुरू हो जाती है. लेकिन मैनिफेस्टेशन हमारी बॉडी में तभी आती है जब वो चीजें प्रॉब्लम देती हैं, हमारी बॉडी उस चीज को रेजिस्ट करती है. सो वी कैन से दैट साउंड हीलिंग जैसे वाइब्रेट करती है, सारा यूनिवर्स इसमें वाइब्रेट कर रहा है. एवरीथिंग, इलेक्ट्रॉन, प्रोटॉन, न्यूट्रॉन्स, एवरीथिंग इज वाइब्रेटिंग. सो हमारी बॉडी में डिजीज कब आती है? जब चीजें सही ढंग से वाइब्रेट नहीं कर रही हैं. कैंसर कैसे हुआ? क्योंकि सेल को जिस फ्रिक्वेंसी के ऊपर वाइब्रेट करना चाहिए था वो वाइब्रेट नहीं कर रहा है. दैट्स व्हाई कैंसर हैपेंड. साउंड हीलिंग क्या करती है? उन्हीं सेल्स को, लाइक वी हैव सीन आवर इन स्कूल डेज आल्सो ट्यूनिंग फोक के साथ में, दैट इफ देयर इज ट्यूनिंग फोक ऑफ 100 हार्ट्स, उसके 100 हार्ट्स के पास लेके आते हैं, वो भी वाइब्रेट करने लग जाता है. वैसे ही हम राइट फ्रिक्वेंसी अपनी बॉडी के पास लेके आते हैं तो हमारे वो सेल्स है वो हील होना शुरू हो जाते हैं. आवर बॉडी इज मेड ऑफ 7 चक्रास. हर एक चक्र का डिफरेंट फ्रिक्वेंसी है. अगर उसको राइट वे से हम फ्रिक्वेंसी को, बाउल्स को या गॉन्ग्स को प्ले करेंगे, या अपनी वोकल कॉर्ड से प्ले करेंगे, लाइक आवर रूट चक्र हैज द साउंड ऑफ लम. We call lum, this certain way to pronounce the lum so that our root chakra is balanced. So when we produce those kind of frequencies, we can heal our body, we can heal our mind, and we can be healed spiritually also. So I feel sound healing is one of the best energy healing modalities I have encountered till date.
Right. Thank you so much for enlightening us about what sound healing is. I think all of us found the sound that you made through the instrument very, very interesting. I think all of us could feel the energy in our body when you played it. Moving on, I'd like to ask Dr. Nimrat Singh, what are affirmations and how can one practice it in their day-to-day life?
Thank you, Mahika, for this. And I think we're already in a very peaceful, sacred space with Yesha giving us an idea about being present and how the Eastern philosophy is ingrained in this kind of work which we are doing. So we are super proud that, we belong. एक हम ऐसी धरती में हमने जन्म लिया है where, so much of positivity and energies that we find. It's just कि हमें tap करने की जरूरत है. And I think this sound therapy also seems to be so exciting, though I have personally experienced it with, people. तो affirmation भी एक टेक्निक है जो हमें अपने आप से मिलाने की कोशिश करती है. In affirmation we talk, we have always heard, have you heard ना, हमारे कुछ गलत हो रहा है तो हम क्या बोलते हैं? अच्छा सोचो, think positive, don't go there, change your attitude. What does that mean? That means we are affirming that we have to do something positive. कई बार हमारे संस्कृति में ऐसे भी बोला जाता है, ऐसे मत सोचो, मुझे कोविड नहीं होना चाहिए, या मुझे पैसे की तकलीफ नहीं होनी चाहिए, मेरे माँ बाप को कोई बीमारी नहीं आनी चाहिए. This is not affirmation. कई बार हम इसको सोचते हैं कि हम अच्छा बोल रहे हैं, प्रे कर रहे हैं, but this is not affirmation. अफर्मेशन में 3 P's आती है, to be positive, to be present and to be personal. So for example, अगर मैं बोलूं life loves me, all is well in my world, मतलब आप ये नहीं बोल रहे कि things will become better in future, already it is good, all is well in my world. तो ये शक्ति गोविंद in 1978 had written this book Creative Visualization, जिसमें she has talked about how you can visualize and make those things happen. ऐसे प्रूफ किया गया है कि अगर हम सोचते हैं, हमारी सोचने की शक्ति है कि अगर हम 5-7 सेकेंड्स भी इमेजिन करें, विजुलाइज करें कोई चीज, वो चीज बिल्कुल हो जाती है. जो लॉ ऑफ अट्रैक्शन, शाहरुख खान इन दैट मूवी टॉक्ड अबाउट लॉ ऑफ अट्रैक्शन. ये रोंडा बायन ने 2008 में जो सीक्रेट लिखी थी, किताब लिखी थी, शी स्पोक अबाउट लॉ ऑफ अट्रैक्शन. Louise Hay is a metaphysical healer. She also talks about affirmations. तो affirmation बहुत easy है, कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है, अभी भी हम सीख सकते हैं. आप कोई भी एक एरिया ले लो जहां पे आपको तकलीफ लग रही है आपकी लाइफ में, और उसको ये 3 चीजों के साथ उसको पॉजिटिव में कन्वर्ट करो, प्रेजेंट में और पर्सनल में. Supposing somebody is not well in the house, the person is in very good health, he is healing by every second, all is well in this world. अब आपने क्या किया, आपने क्या स्प्रेड किया, you put the vibrations and energy into the world that everything is okay. With law of attraction क्या होगा, it will start happening in the same way. So that's how it works. It works in the other way also. Universe does not pick up the word no. I don't want to be sick, I don't want to lose my job. Don't नहीं pick up करता, it picks up I want to lose my job, I want to be sick. So when we are doing any kind of affirmation, we have to be careful. The word negative is never picked up by the universe. And affirmations are like sowing seeds. First you have to sow the seed, then it will sprout, then it will push into a little sapling, then into a plant, into a tree. So it's all about being patient. It's not a one-off thing, but if you constantly keep doing it, I have seen marvelous miracle changes, not only in my life, but also in life of other people.
Right. Thank you so much, ma'am, for telling us how powerful affirmations are and how powerful it is to put the energies out there in the universe. I would just like to make a request to the participants. Please feel free to put all your questions in the chat box. We will take them up as and when we complete another round of questions. To go further, I would like to ask Mrs. Yesha, can mindfulness be a way of life? Could you talk about a few techniques that are used in mindfulness?
Before I go on to that question, I'd like to add something to what Dr. Nimrat Singh has just said. She talked about how affirmations, work wonders in our lives. And I have learned I've done the Heal Your Life course with her, and I've learned the affirmations and the mirror work with her to some extent. Or I can vouch for it कि मेरी life में affirmations have done so many miracles, and they continue to do so many miracles in my life. और जो वो seed to tree की बात की मैम ने, वो बहुत ही एक correct example है, क्योंकि जब हम start करते हैं तो हम छोटी छोटी day to day life में, like मैं Uber book कर रही हूँ, and I affirm that I get a Uber cab within the next couple of minutes, और मुझे वो उतने ही time period में, उतने ही fare में मिल सके जो जितना मुझे चाहिए. So it started off बहुत छोटे से, और फिर extend उस practice को जब किया हमारे day to day life में, then the results are wonderful. It's miraculous, and I'm looking forward to hearing her talk also about how we can apply this in our day to day life. Having said that, Mahika, when I listen to your question, can mindfulness be a way of life? So the answer to that would be yes, definitely. Mindfulness एक तरीका हो सकता है which can be very strongly incorporated into our lives. One very simple example, मैं request करूंगी सभी participants से, सभी viewers से, कि वो मेरा जो उदाहरण है वो अपनी life में connect करके सोचे. आप क्या करते हैं सुबह उठ के? what do you do when you get up in the morning? Okay, तो आपके दिमाग में अभी क्या प्ले करने लगा? मैं उठता हूँ, मैं ब्रश करता हूँ, मैं अपना डेली रूटीन करता हूँ, चाय बनाता हूँ या खाने की प्रेपरेशन करती हूँ, न्यूज़पेपर्स, स्कूल अगर बच्चे हैं तो स्कूल का उनका रेडी करती हूँ, आई प्रिपेयर फॉर माई डे, सो मेनी थिंग्स ऑन एंड ऑन, राइट? और वो बहुत बार हम हमारी डे टू डे लाइफ ऑटो पायलट पे जीते हैं. इट्स लाइक वी गेट अप फ्रॉम द बेड और हम एक ऑटो पायलट में पूरा दिन हमारा चल रहा है. हम एक एक्टिविटी के बाद दूसरी एक्टिविटी, वी गो ऑन डूइंग थिंग्स. एंड स्पेशली लॉकडाउन में अगर हम देखें तो हम एंटरटेनमेंट, हमारा काम, हमारी फैमिली लाइफ, सोशल लाइफ, सब कुछ काफी मिक्सड अप है. मीनिंग हम खाना खा रहे हैं, हमारा काम स्क्रीन पे है, हम खाना खा रहे हैं, हम तभी स्क्रीन पे है, हम एंटरटेनमेंट है वो भी स्क्रीन पे है. तो हम कॉन्स्टेंटली वी आर फ्लोइंग फ्रॉम वन एक्टिविटी टू अनदर. बीच में अगर कोई, इफ माय हस्बैंड वॉक्स इनटू द रूम, आई टॉक टू हिम, एक ऑटोमेटिक रिस्पॉन्स होता है, क्वेश्चन पूछा, मैंने जवाब दिया, बात खत्म. यानी कि जो डे टू डे एक्टिविटीज में, डे टू डे लाइफ में जो एंगेजमेंट होना चाहिए, जो खुशी है, जो इमोशंस, काफी सारे इमोशंस जनरेट हो सकते हैं, वो बहुत बार एक सिंपल फ्लो में चले जाते हैं एंड वी फील कुछ मजा नहीं आ रहा है, कुछ नहीं हो रहा है लाइफ में. आई एम जस्ट, माई लाइफ इज वेरी मैकेनिकल, इट्स वेरी रोबोटिक. mindfulness can be incorporated as a practice here in your day to day lives, जहाँ पे हम हमारी डे टू डे एक्टिविटीज है, as simple as brushing your teeth or as simple as taking a bath or cooking or having your chai or talking to your children or talking to friends on the phone. ये सारी एक्टिविटीज में अगर हम हमारा फुल अवेयरनेस, फुल कंसंट्रेशन ला सके अगर प्रेजेंट मोमेंट में, तो क्या होगा कि हम वो एक्टिविटी के साथ, वो इमोशन के साथ ज्यादा बेहतर तरीके से एंगेज कर पाएंगे. मीनिंग एक्सपीरियंस हमारा ब्रॉडन हो जाता है, ज्यादा रिच हो जाता है, राइट? सो अगर हम डे टू डे लाइफ में ये प्रैक्टिस कर सके, देन वन, इट विल help us understand our own self better. It will help us understand others better. मीनिंग हम रिस्पॉन्ड दूसरों को भी ऑटो पायलट से नहीं कर रहे हैं, हम दूसरों के फीलिंग्स के पास प्रेजेंट है, हम दूसरों के थॉट्स के पास प्रेजेंट है, वो जो बात कर रहे हैं उसके साथ प्रेजेंट है. Our senses are engaged, meaning the same भिंडी की सब्जी that you eat can taste different on different days, right? So then it is not a monotonous day to day task. Empathy अच्छी रहती है, self awareness better रहता है, हम प्रेजेंट मोमेंट में ज्यादा अच्छी तरह से ग्राउंडेड रह सकते हैं rather than going on to the past or the future, right? जब हम प्रेजेंट मोमेंट में ग्राउंडेड है तो हमारा क्लैरिटी and vision for the future also can become better, right? Another very important aspect of mindfulness जो I think हम सबको बेनिफिट कर सकता है डे टू डे लाइफ में, वो है कंपैशन, सेल्फ कंपैशन स्पेशली, एंड एक्सेप्टेंस. जब मैंने पहले नॉन जजमेंटल एटीट्यूड की बात की थी, तब एक्सेप्टेंस इज रिक्वायर्ड व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट नॉन जजमेंटल एटीट्यूड. यानी कि हम जो भी है, जैसा भी है, उसको स्वीकार करके उसको कंपैशन के साथ डील करें. कंपैशन यानी अपने आप को थोड़ा काइंडनेस दिखाए, अपने आप को थोड़ा नर्चर करें, जो जरूरत है अपने आप की उस पर थोड़ा ध्यान दे, अटेंड करें, right? So yes, definitely mindfulness can be a part of our day-to-day practice. Some of the techniques can be focusing on your breath. सिर्फ breathing है, you know, inhaling and exhaling. Breathing techniques भी बहुत powerful हो सकती है इधर.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for making us reflect on how we kind of go in autopilot mode in our day-to-day lives. I think that was a good lesson that all of us learned right now. Moving on, I'd like to ask Dr. Sandeep Jyot, how can one practice sound healing at home?
Mehka, as I was listening Dr. Nimrat and Yesha ji, I was thinking that everything is sound. If affirmation is there, that's also sound. if we are talking about the mindfulness is also some commands, and in remaining present, we're talking to ourselves. That's why human beings are different from the animals, because they have the language, they can use the language. Affirmations only human beings can do, no one else can do. And if I say that mindfulness, it is also need of the human beings. Animals and other things always remain mindful. They don't carry the things, they remain in the present moment. In the similar way, the sound, as I was talking about, the sound keeps us into the present moment and heals us deeply. How to use in daily life? So first of all, like mindful has to be learned from someone, affirmation has to learn from someone. In the similar way, we need to learn about the sound and its power, right? So if we're talking about instrument I was using, this is singing and healing bowl, and right now I am showing you something known as koshi chimes. Just I want to listen that, and if someone can close their eyes and listen this. So you can open your eyes. So sound is also a vehicle which can take us to the mindfulness, and we can meet our own self. But not everyone can learn these all the sounds. There are so many depth and so many instruments are there. So if someone don't learn these instruments, then how he or she can use the sound? First of all, there are different mantras. So if we say certain sacred mantra in certain way, they have different effect on our body. Let's take a universal mantra, Om, right? It's a specific way to chant Om also to heal our body and heal our chakras. Let me tell you, if Om is made up of three parts, A, O, and Ma. If I have to pronounce Om, I will not say that Om, 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 Om. No, it will not have effect. It is just we are chanting something, Japa mantra is doing, but it will not have any sound effect on our chakras or physical body. If I can chant this in a proper way, like this, take a deep breath in and this is A, O, Ma. Like we are starting from our navel chakra, solar chakra, then going up to heart chakra, then going up to throat chakra, and after that we are going up to the crown chakra, right? Our energy is moving upward, and we are using proper time. A is used near about for uh, 1/4 of time. O is used near about 1/4 time, and rest of time Ma is used like humming. It's like energy is moving from lower chakra to upper chakras. If someone is suffering from depression, low energy, if he can chant Om like this 5 times or 7 times, he will feel a balance in his or her chakras and energy up, because these are the places, like this is the Brahma, Mahesh and Vishnu. हमारे जो चक्रास हैं उसको एनर्जी को अप करते हैं. तो हम डेली लाइफ में अलग अलग ढंग से साउंड को यूज कर सकते हैं. सिमिलर वे में अगर हम अफर्मेशंस बोलें, हम अफर्मेशन किस तरह से बोलते हैं, हम प्रेजेंट मोमेंट में है या नहीं है, हम माइंडफुल है कि नहीं है. इवन अफर्मेशन, एवरीथिंग इज कनेक्टेड. आई ऑलवेज फील जितनी भी हीलिंग मोडेलिटीज हैं वो सब कुछ कनेक्टेड है आपस में. एंड में वो जैसे बोलते हैं ना, नदियां अलग अलग है लेकिन सोर्स एक जगह पहुंचना है. दैट एवरीथिंग, अगर माइंडफुलनेस का बोलें तो अगर आप अफर्म कर रहे हैं लेकिन आप माइंडफुल नहीं, आप क्या बोल रहे हैं? I am rich, I am rich, I am rich, I am rich. But what are you saying? Are you feeling that? Are you present? Are your every sense is there at that moment? Then only it affect. So mindfulness and formation is connected. Similar way, sound is also connected. We chant mantras, different mantras. In the morning, we chant different mantras. Evening, we chant different mantras. Even the ragas, we have different ragas for different time of the day, for our different seasons also, that have different effect on our mind, body and soul. They have made it in a beautiful way. If we learn that किस समय में कौन सा राग सुनना है, तो हमें बहुत सारी जो डिजीजेज है वो हील हो सकती हैं. आजकल तो हम सभी लोग म्यूजिक थेरेपी और इसके बारे में बहुत लोग सुन रहे हैं. दैट्स द रीजन. अगर हम सुपरफिशियल लेवल पे जाएं, अगर हम घर पे करना चाहें, तो हमें मंत्रा को प्रॉपर चैंट करना हम सीख सकते हैं. और हम कुछ ऐसा सिंगिंग बाउल है जहाँ हमारे हैप्पी ड्रम्स हैं. जैसे मैं आपको हैप्पी ड्रम्स सुनाता हूँ. दिस इज समथिंग आई डोंट नो ऑनलाइन कैसा सुनाई देगा. दिस इज काइंड ऑफ आल्सो चक्रा म्यूजिक. This instrument is known as happy drums. It's also for chakra healing or group meditations. So if we want to do learn something out of this session, so at home you can chant Om in a proper way. You can learn from someone to chant Om or learn sound healing. If someone want to use sound healing in daily life and play singing bowls mindfully.
Right. Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us with the importance of how important it is of how we're producing the sounds that we're producing. I think all of us got to learn a lot about how to actually produce the sounds that we make. Moving on, I'd like to ask Dr. Nimrat ma'am, what is mirror work and do you get trained for mirror work or can anybody use mirror work?
Oh, I love mirror work and I love talking about it. So a lot of people don't know what mirror work is. और बोलते हैं ना आईना झूठ नहीं बोलता. It always reflects back to you what you're feeling inside. जैसे अगर हम किसी को बोले hi, how are you doing? We are so superficial so many times. We are so masked that we just say, you know, I'm good, I'm fine. But आपने notice किया हमारी आंखें झूठ नहीं बोलती हैं. So similarly, mirror work was something which started thousands of years back. Actually, it's 6,000 to 8,000 BC in Turkey. That's where mirror work started. It goes back so long back. However, Louise Hay is the one who has actually popularized it. And a lot of people use the mirror. I was sitting with the mirror even now. I do it every time. It's like if I'm doing a program, I will visualize, I will affirm how nicely everything is going. And exactly the way, you know, when Yesha was saying that how we can imagine things and they happen. In mirror work, what one can do is as soon as you wake up in the morning, go and stand in front of your mirror. Anywhere we go, we brush and we do activities. Just look into the mirror, say your name and say, I love you. Sometimes we are not able to say it because there are too many things that are blurring and fogging. We are criticizing ourselves. We are overcome with anger or hurt or some pain. So we're not able to say it. You can at least start saying, I'm willing to love you. And many times all the traumas of our past, our pains that come up in front of us, in front of when we are talking to the mirror, we are able to touch those parts and heal those parts. Idea of mirror work. Kai baar I've heard people say, what if we get narcissistic? What if we start thinking we are the best? Actually, that's not the idea of the mirror work. Then you haven't understood mirror work. Mirror work is to look at yourself into your eyes and have a conversation and a dialogue with yourself. So it takes you into the path of self-realization and into self-healing. There are many things, like for example, I remember after my father passed away, I really needed to have a conversation with him because there were some things which were unfulfilled, which were incomplete. I remember when I learned mirror work and I started talking to him, first there was hurt, pain, जैसे वो समुद्र मंथन में churn करने से क्या निकला था? Wish निकला था. So many times mirror work may take you to a place where you're hurt, pained, and slowly that started transforming into a very healthy relationship. So mirror work you can do any time from the morning to the night. To if you are supposing going for a very important meeting, you have something very important coming up, like a interview, or you have to talk somewhere. Just start visualizing, doing the mirror work, and imagining it is happening just the way you want it to happen. So you could do mirror work if you are disturbed with somebody and you want to talk to the person. आजकल हम किसी को बोल नहीं सकते बहुत इजीली आप उनको यू नो व्हाट हैज हर्ट यू, बट अगर आप अंदर रखोगे तो वो डिस ईज हो जाएगा, stress हो जाएगा. Better that if you release it in front of the mirror, talk to yourself in the mirror, enjoy yourself, enjoy your own company in front of the mirror. People who do mirror work, they have a higher immunity, they have better health, more realization. They can heal the inner child. See, sometimes our pasts we are not healed. Some things have stayed with us, some trauma, some pain. All that can be healed. Sometimes our parents have not told us what we wanted to hear. Like suppose, you know, I really worked very hard, but Papa ne mujhe appreciate nahi kiya. Even that appreciation can happen through mirror work. So it is like completing oneself and not fishing outside for what others should say to you. It is about you saying it to yourself. And I can't help remembering one person when I was doing my training, teachers training. There was a lady who talked about how mirror work helped her, and her whole life changed. She believed she was not a good looking woman, and she said, I was darker than my husband, I was very complex, and in India agar aurat aadmi se kali ho to you can imagine it does affect. She said, I started doing mirror work on a daily basis. It changed her looks, it gave her a clearer complexion, it gave her more confidence and poise, and she got back all the things that she had lost surely because of the confidence she started getting through her mirror work. And we call her magic because we've seen this person in our life. She is there. And I think it is for all of us. I think I look beautiful when I do mirror work. When I keep doing it, my immunity goes higher. I feel in a happier place. And I don't want to keep checking with others what they think about me. So this in short is, I don't know whether it's enough for you to start believing in mirror work, but it really works.
Wow, I'm so interested in all about mirror work. And thank you so much for sharing your friend's story about how mirror work changed her life and changed her perception about herself. I'd like to take a few audience questions, first of all. So this is just a common question. Any of you can answer it. Somebody's asking how to deal with negative emotions.
Okay, so I could take it because when we are talking about affirmation, then kana, hey Bhagwan, ye mat dena, don't make it negative. So this is something which we've learned something because we were conditioned to believe. Nazar lag jayegi, don't talk positive things, don't let other people know things. So sometimes, you know, we need to look at what we have learned. That we need to relearn, unlearn, and relearn. So we, you know, sometimes our parents were victims of victims. So they operated from fear many times, you know, the earlier generation. So they believed that paise ko sambhal ke rakho, money does not grow on trees. So they created fears for relationships, for money, for a lot of things. So this is something which we need to consciously change in ourselves. And that's where mindfulness would help. That's where being aware of, you know, what are you sending in? What message are you sending outside to the universe is what you get back. So अगर आपको कुछ करना है, talk about abundance, look at your health, wealth, your relationships, and start imagining how well everything is going. And trust me, it starts working.
Right. I think that's a wonderful way that you described on how one should deal with negative emotions. Next up, we have a question. Somebody's asking, what is the difference between mindfulness and concentration?
I take that. So mindfulness, जैसे मैंने कहा कि mindfulness यानी कि हम हमारे thoughts पे के साथ present है, emotions के साथ present है, जो activities कर रहे हैं वहाँ पे present है. Concentration will fall under the larger umbrella of mindfulness. यानी कि concentration यानी कि आप कोई भी एक चीज बहुत ध्यान से कर रहे हैं, राइट? तो यानी कि माइंडफुलनेस का मतलब वहां पे क्या होगा कि आप वो देखेंगे, वो अवेयर होंगे कि मेरा कंसंट्रेशन अभी पूरा इस सेशन पे है, राइट? So that will be, I think, the difference between mindfulness and concentration.
Right. I think you explained it so beautifully, the difference between the two. We'll take up a few more questions towards the end of the webinar. I'd like to ask you, Mrs. Yesha, that could you give us like a few examples that you know of where somebody's life has changed because of affirmations?
Affirmations, I think that question would be for Nimrat ma'am, and she would be the best person to answer that on affirmations.
Right.
Resha, you can go because I've seen you affirming and doing it. Your visa, your whatever you wanted to ever do. I think we have already talked about it also.
So I'd like to give that example then. So we were supposed to apply. Me and my husband were applying for the US visa, and the rest of my family was already in the US, and all of them had a hard time getting through the visas. You know, a lot of documents missing and repeated processes and all of that, and we decided to pick a date and we went. So he was pretty nervous, and he kept reading through the questions, going through the documents, remembering the address, remembering the whatever details, and I kept just enjoying myself, and he was surprised to see me like that. He says, it's such a big thing, you're not worried? If we don't get the visa, we won't be able to go. And I said that we are going to get the visa and we are going to be out in no time. Okay. So I started planning the rest of the day. So we had an appointment slot in the morning and we had the rest of the day free. So I started planning where we would be going for lunch, what are the other things we would be doing. And he's like, we are not going to be able to make it. He was pretty sure about it, and I just kept doing my thing. I didn't try to change him. I didn't try to even have an argument with him. We went to the embassy. There was a huge line, and then there were people who were talking that bahut visa difficult hai, nahi milne wala. There was a family of about 14 people who had applied at the same time that was just ahead of us. So we went on to this this place where there are these interviewers who are sitting at different windows, and I looked at them and I just said that we are going to be interviewed by a male, and it's just going to be 5 minutes. We are going to be out in 5 minutes. And he just stopped talking to me after that point. And the next person in line, the window that we were supposed to go was that of a female. However, it shifted at the last minute. Her shift got over and there was a male in her place. We went to the window. He asked two questions, no documents, no nothing, two questions. And he said, okay, your visa has been granted. And my husband just froze there. He couldn't move from that space. And I was like, visa ho gaya hai. Chale lunch ke liye. We are done here. And so I think that process, helped me get through that. And there are many other instances like that where I have thought through the entire detail and I have planned it in a way as so that has already happened. Ye already ho chuka hai. Ye ho hi raha hai. So I don't need to have a plan B for that.
Can I add something here? Because there's also a word of caution while we are saying all this. There is in the Louise Hay book I read about one lady who was after a lot of affirmations, her eyes started getting better and she did not have to wear glasses. But that thing she could not absorb and digest. So she just kept saying, I don't understand how did my eyes get okay. And she kept repeating it like a broken record. After some days, she had her eyesight, she had to wear her glasses again. So this is something which we need to understand that we have to constantly, it's a way of life. When you start believing in positive things, you visualize it. It cannot be fear underneath and uppar se you're showing that you're very confident and, okay. Because the universe will pick up what you're feeling, not what you're doing. So, I know of people who don't take LIC policies. They've never bought LIC policies because he believes that person, I will never need money suddenly. I will always have enough saved. On the other hand, I know of people who keep so much money at home because they say that what if raat ko koi bimar ho gaya and we have to rush to the hospital, then what will happen? And that person told me invariably, in our house, people are constantly unwell and we are constantly using the money for this. So this is something which we need to understand, that whatever we feel inside, whatever our intention is, no matter how much ever we may cover it up, it is at what frequency are you operating? If you're operating on the frequency of love, which is much higher, your energy is higher. If you're operating on the thing of fear, then your energy is very low and you attract disease, all kinds of dysfunctionalities because of that. And that's where I think sound healing, meditation, all these things would help us to raise our energies. I think that's what even Sandeep, in what he was doing, if you notice, energies changed. We ourselves felt that, we were in a very sacred place. So that's how you have to keep experimenting with whatever you're learning. I mean, our idea is to just give you as many techniques. It's up to you to actually go deep into it and believe in it and connect with what we are saying.
Thank you so much, Yesha ma'am and Nimrat ma'am, for explaining to us how important it is to believe in these techniques as much as knowing about it. Moving on, I'd like to ask Dr. Sandeep, sir, how has your life changed after practicing sound healing?
Thank you, Mahika, for asking the question. This is a very simple and complicated question. So, as as Dr. Nimrat was saying, that belief is a big thing. मान लो तो पत्थर है, नहीं मानो तो मान लो तो भगवान है. तो वैसा ही है, अगर मान लो तो ये एक मेटल है, अगर मान लो तो इसके अंदर सब एनर्जी है. इससे वन ऑफ द बेस्ट हीलिंग मोडेलिटी. So I will share few things how my life changed, how this modality was introduced in my life. I want to discuss and share with my all the audience that my elder daughter was suffering from headache, severe headache. Being a doctor, हमने उसको सब जगह दिखाया, आई सर्जन को दिखाया, ऑप्थेल्मिस्ट को बोला आई साइड एकदम सही है, फिर साइकोलॉजिस्ट को दिखाया कि पढ़ाई से भाग रही होगी इसलिए वो कर रही होगी, तो वो भी बोले सब कुछ ठीक है, बढ़िया है. तो उसके बाद हमने बाकी लोगों को दिखाया, पीट्स के डॉक्टर को दिखाया, लेकिन एवरीथिंग वाज इन वेन, कुछ रिजल्ट नहीं आ रहा था. एंड शी वाज इन डीप पेन. हर वो बोलती पापा मेरे सिर में ऐसे लग रहा है हथौड़े बज रहे हैं. इट वाज नियर अबाउट 3 months. Then ENT doctor diagnosed that after CT scan she is suffering from infection of sphenoid sinus. Sphenoid sinus is a sinus, like we have the maxillary sinus here. We have one sinus, sphenoid sinus, which is between our brain and eyes. If it remains infected for a long time, because there is a very thin bone between brain and eyes, it can damage the bone and infection can go to brain also, it can go to the eyes also. So doctor told we have to take medications. So my daughter took near about for 1 month antibiotics, then steroids, then steam, everyday steam. It was quite painful. She was okay after 15 days. Again, after 15 days of stopping the medicine, there was recurrence. And doctor told that we have to remove her tonsils and adenoids, because those adenoids and tonsils are stopping her breathing. So that's why she's having infection of adenoid sinus. So being a doctor, I told that, okay, you can remove, because these lymphatic organs we don't need after 5 years or 6 years of age. But my wife told that, what kind of doctor you are? Your science is still growing. Today you are saying our adenoids have no use, our tonsils have no use, but God has given us. So I will not allow my daughter to go under knife. So at that time we tried homeopathy, but again same thing. Then there was one person who told us try sound healing. We were traveling from Kutch to Ahmedabad just for 30 minutes of sound healing. Traveling 10 hours just for half an hour. Then that therapist told, sir आप इतना मूव करते हो, आते हो, पूरा दिन जाता है आपका, तो अब सीख लो. तो हमने तब लर्न किया. उसके बाद हमारी फैमिली में किसी को कुछ भी होता है, थोड़ा चोट भी लगता है, बच्चों को बोलेंगे साउंड हीलिंग दे दो. किसी का सिर दर्द होता है, साउंड हीलिंग दे दो. कोई बीमार होता है, वी डोंट टेक मेडिसिन इन आवर होम. सो इट स्टार्टेड विद अस. तो उसके बाद मैंने उसको डेप्थ में गया, उसको लर्न किया. देन आई बिकम अ ट्रेनर फॉर साउंड हीलिंग. तो बहुत लोग हैरान होते हैं, एक एलोपैथिक डॉक्टर है, वो हीलिंग मोडेलिटी साउंड हीलिंग यूज करता है. तो इट्स क्वाइट लोगों को हैरानी होती है ये कैसे हो सकता है, बट इट हैपेंड विद अस. और हम ऐसे ऐसे मिरेकल्स देखते हैं जो सोच नहीं सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल, आई विल टेक फ्यू एग्जांपल्स. A lady of depression came. She was suffering from severe depression for last 7 years. She was having tremors, twitching, and other symptoms, physical symptoms also, and psychological symptoms also. So after 4 or 5 sessions, she told, I am feeling okay, I want to stop medicines. I told her, we will taper the medicine with the help of your psychiatrist. But after 6 months, she was okay out of depression. 7 years severe depression, right? Not mild or moderate. So come to another thing about the relationship also. One couple came to us. They were near about 65 years old. दोनों एक दूसरे को एकदम शक करते थे, बच्चे बड़े हो गए थे, शादी हो गया था, लेकिन इतना गुस्सा था। तो उनका बेटा हमारे पास आया, तो काउंसलिंग किया हमने उसके साथ में और साउंड हीलिंग किया। तो हमने कपल हीलिंग दिया दोनों को। तो आफ्टर 1 डे दे टोल्ड दैट हम लोग 20 साल के बाद इकट्ठा मूवी देख के आए, हाथ में हाथ डाल के मूवी देखा हमने।
How sweet. How sweet.
Then there is case of lung fibrosis. We know that lung fibrosis is a progressive disease. जो हमारे लंग्स होते हैं, उनके एल्वुलाई होते हैं, वो रीजनरेट नहीं होते हैं एकदम। ये आदमी के धीरे धीरे लंग्स की कैपेसिटी कम होती है। तो देयर वाज अ लेडी जो 2 साल से बिल्कुल सोई नहीं थी, बैठ के रहती थी, थोड़ा लेटती थी, खांसी आ जाती थी, और उसके जो पेन किलर्स थे, एवरीथिंग वाज इंक्रीजिंग डे बाय डे, और डिजीज भी इंक्रीज हो रही थी। तो पीपल अप्रोच टू अस, हम ट्राई करें साउंड हीलिंग, बोले वी कैन ट्राई बट वी कांट से एनीथिंग, क्या असर होगा क्या नहीं होगा। जैसे हम साउंड हीलिंग देना शुरू करते, तो वो जो फीमेल थी वो स्नोर करना शुरू कर देती, और आफ्टर सम टाइम शी टोल्ड दैट मेरे जो एनाल्जेसिक्स थे, पेन किलर्स थे, उनका डोज कम हो गया। 2 मंथ के बाद डॉक्टर ने कहा दैट these and decreased, but वो कांस्टेंट इंक्रीज नहीं हो रही है, प्रोग्रेस नहीं कर रही है। दैट वाज समथिंग मिरेकल। तो ऐसे बहुत सारे मिरेकल्स है, डिस्कस कर सकते हैं, बट टाइम इज शॉर्ट। सो हमारी लाइफ में तो साउंड हर रोज, जैसे हम लोग रात को हर 10 मिनट साउंड लेके सोते हैं, तो दिस इज समथिंग लाइक पार्ट ऑफ आवर लाइफ।
Beautiful.
Thank you so much, sir, for telling us how powerful sound healing is and for sharing with all of us your personal experience of sound healing. I'd like to ask Nimrat ma'am, how did affirmations and mirror work start with you?
Okay, so as a child, I was a middle child. It's really funny when I think about how it really started. As a little child, I would always look at the brighter side of things for some reason. That I would keep myself pepped up all the time. That's how I was, I think, as a child. So my brother would keep teasing me, "What is your success story today?" And he would laugh at me. And I would find it very amusing. Why is he so surprised that I have happy moments in my life and I don't really worry about little things? But yeah, I mean, as I became a psychologist, I think the thing of helping people, how do I reach out? There's so much to do and so little time and so many issues that we are dealing with. So I think there I realized that many times just doing things which are off track, which are more spiritual. See, in therapy, we get stuck with physical and mental. We are in the domains. Headache hai, kyun hai, organic nahi hai, let's go into the mind, let's work around the mind. Somewhere we neglect the spirit. And I think for me, it was very important to look at a higher level. All of us have some connection with divinity. How to create that? See, we are all looking for the same thing, whether we do sound therapy, meditation, therapy, affirmation, we are all looking to be loved. We are all looking to be healed. We all are looking to bring out our creativity. I think this is a common thing all of us have. So many times when we help people through divinity, through spirituality, through whatever they would like to add to their lives, it just starts working for them. And when it works, see, we don't know which avenue is going to work for who. So mirror work also sometimes work, affirmations work. We do technically, I'm qualified to be an ISTDP practitioner, a couple counselor, a trauma therapist, a dream worker. I work with dreams. So I'm qualified to do a lot of work. However, looking at what is the need for a client, because in India, people don't come too much to therapy. They don't want too many sessions. So within that, what can I offer that I'm able to make the best and make their life, at least they learn that there is a way out. And that's what I think is important for us. So through journaling, through these, whatever forms we can help them through, we are able to help them. And I have also trained as a Heal Your Life teacher. So we do 2-day courses, we do online courses, we do short-term courses, all kinds of things. Supposing they want to work only with health, only with wealth, only with healing, child healing, we have short courses which we offer.
Thank you, ma'am, for telling us about your start to affirmations and mirror work. I think it's going to inspire all of us to tap into the affirmations and mirror work eventually. I'm going to take up a few audience questions. Somebody has asked, please tell me some proper affirmations for health issues.
Okay, so one could be starting with all is well. My health is in perfect shape. Every cell of my body responds. If supposing, the person is going under a knife or under something, that every hand that touches me is an extension of the God, of an almighty, of, my guru. And every hand is a healing hand. I am protected, I'm safe. I think one of the most powerful affirmation is in this book, that is All is Well, which says, all is well. This is the strongest one. I think even in that movie, Three Idiots, it was used so many times. Everything is working out for my highest good. Out of this situation, only good will come out. I am safe. This works like a miracle. So humko lagta hai, we get setbacks, small setbacks, and we think, oh, everything is lost. Something bigger is coming your way. Wait, you have sown the seed. Wait for the plant to fructify. You are going to get the fruit of it. So that's how you have to constantly keep and believing in it. I think that is the most important thing. You will have to put energy and power in whatever you're saying, and it would be fulfilled. I hope I've answered the question.
Yes, right. I think you've answered the question very well. We have one more question. Somebody saying, fear is often taught or conditioned. What steps can one take to overcome the automatic fearful response when affirming?
Okay, so Yesha, you want to take it?
You're on mute, ma'am.
No, it's
I'll
unmuted.
Yeah, I'll start with the first
Sure,
part.
please,
I'd like
please.
to add to it when it comes to affirmations. So here, when we look at these questions, this question also talks about overcome the automatic fearful response, which is to say that this response has been learned and practiced over the years multiple times in multiple situations, right? So whenever I'm feeling a certain emotion, it can be fear, it could be sadness, it could be anger. What I do is I am not mindful and I'm not present to how I'm experiencing that emotion right now in this moment, in this situation. However, I associate it to the memory of another fearful situation, another angry situation or a sad situation that I have from the past. Therefore, I refer to that as a reference situation, a reference emotion, and then I respond whatever emotion I've set over the years. I respond from that. If ma'am is going to talk about affirmations, but if I had to add a little bit about mindfulness here, I would like to say that feeling the emotion and being aware of how you're experiencing it right now in this situation. If you're more mindful of it, if you're more aware of, I'm experiencing fear, how am I experiencing it right now? What is it doing to my body? How is my body responding to this fear right now? Therefore, what it does is that I'm not associating that emotion to any other incident, any other memory. Right? So when I reduce the association to any memories I have of that, my automatic response can be lowered and I'll be able to respond more mindfully to the situation.
Okay.
That's a beautiful response to the question of fear. Um, we have one more question that says, I was just curious to know if there is any scientific evidence behind affirmations and mindfulness, and why do people find it difficult to start with these practices?
Okay, can I go?
Yes.
Okay. This book, All Is Well, of course, there are many other references if you go into the search. But this book has been, I love this book only for one reason, that it was talking about the science behind affirmation, science behind disorders and diseases. So they have looked at chakra healing, they have looked at it scientifically, what doctors could not do in their clinics, in their hospitals, they were able to do through this healing. So there are a lot of experiments that have been done simultaneously, like medically also. So what I would like to really say here, do not believe in it completely. Don't blindly worship something. You have to feel like when Yesha talked about what she spoke about, her visa and all, she's experienced it. I have experienced miracles in my life in so many ways. In fact, if I'm struggling with something, I will just note it on my iPhone what my struggle is. So I will write a note to my spirit that, hey, I'm in trouble. Come and help me. Be there. Show me the way. And invariably, I've just left it after that. In a few hours, in a day or two, the thing gets solved. I don't understand how it happens, why it happens. So Louise Hay, if you really look at it, she has given a full all Chinese medicine, how all these affirmations work, how visualization works, how medical sciences work, where medical sciences cannot work. Like when Dr. Sandeep is saying something was not working and they had to go beyond that. I think these are just little, in such a little time, we were able to give you so many things which are not short of miracles. So I would say that, yeah, people who are very scientific, who are very objective, who are looking for, exactly how it works, go through a lot of literature, do both simultaneously and see what works. I'll tell you, when I was down with COVID for 15 days, all I did is believe in my homeopath. Now you'll say you are a psychologist, you believe in homeopathy. I told them, these are my reports. This is the parameters. He said, would you trust me to give you medicines and you don't have to take any other medicine? I promise you, 15 days were very productive for me. I did not feel sick. I did not have a single medicine. I trusted that 3 days he gave me homeopathy. I just worked with that. I just believed in him. So what do you believe in? What is your, see, bottom line is that only. If I trust something, then I'll blindly, if I blindly trust it, it may not work. I trust it with my eyes open and I keep experimenting with my life. If it works, then I know that this is what I want to do. So if sound healing, practice it, learn from the right people. Dr. Sandeep teaches, his wife teaches, learn. See, everything learn affirmations, learn mindfulness, and then go into it. Unfortunately, what happens with us is half-baked knowledge. हम आधा सीख जाते हैं और हम बोलते हैं कि हम आ गया हमको. No, go into it properly. See how it works for you. If it speaks to you, your body, mind, and spirit respond to it. That is a technique for you then. I hope I've answered the question.
I think
Can
you
I add
have.
something to this?
Yes, sure.
So someone had asked what the scientific evidence about this. So I just want to share about the MBCT, mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, and as Yasha told about the MBSR, John Kabat-Zinn, mindfulness-based stress reduction technique. There are so many meta studies and double-blind studies also, because this program is only of 8 weeks. Like 8 weeks mindfulness training programs are there. So they have taken the X-rays and the brain scans, EEG, MRIs of the brain. So they have seen that after 8 weeks of mindful exercises, there was a remarkable changes in the brain. So these things work. That's why government of UK has told that mindfulness as an alternative therapy, which is equal to the medicines for the depression, be it mild, moderate, or severe depression. That's one of the biggest thing that you kind of country like UK and the other countries also have recognized mindfulness as a therapy. Even they recommend mindfulness for the person who are suffering from depression, so that they don't go into depression again. So there are ample evidence, ample studies, double-blind studies are there that mindfulness works. And similar with the affirmations, there are studies that they have seen that there is changes in the frontal cortex when you do something else. Everyone knows about the study of Swami Rama, Himalayan yogi, if someone has read the book. He has shown to the world in the USA in the controlled study how he can control his breath, how he can stop the things, how he can stop his thoughts also. So everything is written, but one have to read that. When one there are so many different kind of persons. Some believes that if it's scientific, then only I will follow. So friends, I just want to tell you that yes, mindfulness is quite scientific. Affirmation is quite scientific, and Western world has done so many studies on that, scientific studies that there is brain changes, mind changes, neuron changes are there. So science is there.
I
And
think
there is
after
something, one sec, I'll just add, there's neuroplasticity, the new concept that's epigenetic. There's something beyond genetics. And CBT has shown that, constantly changing your thoughts can change the composition of the brain, as we are saying. There's a lot of work that's done. So, yeah.
I think all of you all spoke about your personal experiences, and that has just inspired us to believe in these three healing techniques and how powerful it is, and how if you believe in it, it can be really beneficial for us. Before we conclude this very inspiring webinar, I'd like to ask our three panelists if you all have any concluding words, parting words to tell our participants.
I'll go first. I think for anybody who wants to start practicing mindfulness, I'm just going to give 5 steps, 5 things that they can do on a day-to-day basis. 1, check your breath. Okay, focus on your breathing. Mindful eating, focus on what you're eating. Chew every bite, taste every bite, engage all your senses. Try to smell often things that are around you. Take a deep breath, see what smell is present in your surroundings. Look at what you are hearing, or look at what you're feeling, the texture wherever you're sitting. Observe your thoughts. Check in with your body. We often ask others, how are you feeling? But also check in with your body. How is my body feeling? I think just practicing these 5 steps on a day-to-day basis will at least start the practice of mindfulness, and then you can see where you want to take it from there.
That makes a lot of sense. That's a very nice guideline, a starting guideline for all of us here to tap into mindfulness.
So let me add something. So we have talked about sound. So there is something known as silence also. There is sound of silence known as something known as sound of silence. If one can sit with closed eyes and listen the sounds around him or in the silence, whatever is coming, just be present to that. Be mindful to that. After that, I have talked about Om chanting. Just chant Om mindfully and see on which organs, on which chakra do you feel the difference, and observe the difference before and after chanting of Om and listening the sound of silence. So if you can do that, you can experience what is power of the sound is. Then you can go deeper into that.
That does, especially when you chanted Om, I think all of us could feel the energies inside our bodies.
Yeah. Someone can learn how to chant the Om. It's not very difficult, even on YouTube also, about Om, its importance, how to chant for sound healing and self-healing. So one can do that.
I just like to say just one thing, not too much, that start loving yourself, start believing in yourself, go deep into yourself, ask yourself what's going to make you happy. Love that inner child which is there within you, and everything else will just fall in place. We don't need to worry about anything. When God has given you birth, He's actually taking care of you. Do not tell Him how He has to take care of you. He's anyway going to do it. Just start trusting the universe more. And it begins by trusting yourself. So, no matter what it is, we are all safe. we are all secure, we are all loved. And that's the bottom line. Do how much seva you can. Try to do seva. बहुत मजा आएगा. Just देना, not only financially, give. And the joy that you will get out of giving is something different. So thank you, Mahika. This was so overwhelming. I think it's so beautiful. The whole Sandeep, Yesha, I think it was wonderful. And I think the audience was wonderful too. So thanks to all of you for this enlightenment. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank all of you all our 3 panelists for coming and sharing your own spiritual journeys with all of us here. It was so inspiring and so enlightening for all of us. And personally for me, I'm definitely going to tap in all the healing techniques. I'm going to practice all 3 and try to find which one do I relate and kind of, find useful for me. And I'd also like to thank all the participants for coming in here on a Saturday night to joining this webinar and taking the time out to join our webinar. Before we conclude, I'd just like to tell you that the recording of this session will be available on our YouTube channel, along with the recordings of many other webinars that we've conducted in the past. The name of the YouTube channel is Dr. Nimrat Singh's Chats on Emotional Wellbeing. We've got a very nice feedback on our comments. Everybody's loved the session. Thank you so much to everybody for joining in. Whenever we have our upcoming webinars, we will keep you all updated via mail. So please look out for that.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. God bless everybody.
Nimrat ma'am.